Welcome back to the Brain Mission channel. I'm your host Brainy, and today I am going to be trying this curriculum-based test back from 2023. I'm going to see how well I could have done if I had taken this test myself. And also I want you to leave some comments in there to let me know if you think that I got the answers correct, yes or no. And also I'm going to leave this test paper. I'm going to leave a link in the description for you to get this test paper free of cost if you want. All right, so let's jump in. All right, so I've already done the test. I just want to go through and show you how I got the answers, and you can agree or disagree. Just let me know what you think in the comment section. All right, so the instructions read, there are 40 items in this test. Each has only one correct answer. Read each item carefully. Select the correct response, then shade the corresponding letter of the answer you chose on the answer sheet provided. Okay, so let's move forward. So read the statements below, then use it to answer item 1. It says all living and non-living things along with their surroundings. So I know that, and that's the environment. Environment is made up of living, non-living things, and also their habitat, etc. So I chose the end. The statement is referring to the environment, not just the land, not just location, and not just a home. I think it is environment. All right, number 2, which process is not a part of conservation? So you have maintaining, consuming, restoring, and protecting. I choose consuming is not a part of conservation, because if you consume something, you're not conserving it, you're actually eating it or getting rid of it. All right, so I chose B. Right, number 3, read the statements below, then use it to answer item 3. All 3 members of Mr. Park's family work in offices that are close to each other. Each family member, however, chooses to drive their own car to work. Okay, so which best explains why the family's choice to drive different cars would be bad for the environment? So everybody wants to drive to work. What would be the best thing to say of how this is going to impact the environment? That's the question. It may increase the need for more fuel efficient vehicles. Well, yeah, that can be a reason, right? Because they're all going to have to drive, but I don't think that's it. Traffic congestion on the road. Yeah, that can also be a reason. Chance of family members getting into accidents. That's always something, whether you're driving by yourself or not. So amount of carbon dioxide released per family member, definitely. So I chose this because number of cars that will be driving will be producing carbon dioxide in the air. So I chose D. Okay, all right. So let's jump into the next question, right? So the next question is, let me blow this up a bit. Right. All right, so the diagram below shows how a large mass of land has changed over 20 years. Use the diagram to answer item 4. So this is the year 2000, this is the year 2020, which is 20 years after. The key showing land, no ice. That's this color here. And the land ice cover is here. So in the 2000, we have this area here is thinner than the outside area was a little thinner in 2000, and it's getting where less ice coverage is going on here and more land than ice. So which is the likely cause for the change that occurred? So change in global sea levels, I don't think so, because it's land, it's more land, not more sea. Reduced average rainfall, I don't think that's the case either. Change in global temperature, I think that's the case. Why I chose this? Because I think that the ice is actually melting. So that would cause from an increase in temperature, and that's why the ice area is actually reducing. So I chose C. All right. 5. Which organ system controls the body's actions? And I chose the nervous system, which is made up of the brain, etc. So the skeletal system, no, excretory system is just one part. Respiratory system is just one part. The nervous system controls the body. So I chose A. All right, let's move on. It says use the diagram below to answer item 6. So it shows an X, and it shows that the X is pointing here. It says, what is the name of the organ labeled X? This definitely is the lung. All right, this is not the heart or the kidney or the stomach. This is the lung, right? So I chose that. Right at the chest area, you have the lung. So I chose that. C. So that's a clear one. All right, let's move into the next question. Let's blow this up a bit so you can see. All right, so it says, which shows the correct path food travels through the digestive system? So it says the mouth to the small intestines. That's not correct. So I know this is definitely wrong. Mouth to the stomach, no, that is wrong. So the mouth to the esophagus, that's definitely it. That's the step. Then the stomach, then the small intestine, then the large intestine. So I chose C. All right, 8. In which environment is noise pollution likely to occur? Likely means it's more likely or more of something that is going to happen. All right, so a museum is normally very quiet. A library is very quiet. Should be, actually. Examination room should be. People want to focus. But a football stadium, people are shouting, making noise. So I chose D. All right, which is not a property of sound? It has pitch. Well, definitely that wouldn't be, it is a property of sound actually. It travels in one direction from its source. Sound doesn't travel in one direction from its source, so this is not a property. Sound can be reflected. It travels in all directions from its source, so it definitely B. It travels in one direction. Sound doesn't do that, so I'll select that as not a property of sound. All right, use the information below to answer item 10. The human vocal cords produce sound by vibrating as air from the lungs passes over them. Changing the tightness of the vocal cords will affect certain characteristics of the human voice. What's that now? Let's see. So which characteristics of the human voice will be affected by changing the tightness of the vocal cords? Now, if you're tightening someone's vocal cord, what you're doing is actually trying to suppress the voice. So I think the quality would be impacted. The volume definitely would, right? The speed, the pitch, but I think that will be more of the quality of the sound that's coming out of you would be definitely impacted. So I chose the quality, all right? Okay, let's move to number 11, and let's blow this up a bit again. All right, so the diagram below shows a pencil in a glass of water. Examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 11. So here's a pencil. This part is above the water. This part is in the water. All right, let's see what the question has to offer. Which is the likely cause of the optical illusion seen in the diagram? Light rays. Light rays are bouncing off the surface of the water? No. Bending as they enter the water, which is refraction, right? So I chose that one. That's why it looks distorted, right? Scattering as they pass through the water? No. And being absorbed as they enter the water? That's not the case. It is more likely bending, and that's why it's showing this form, or showing the pencil to look a little crooked. All right, so which describes a property of light? Right, so light expands when it gets hot. That's not true, man. Definitely. Light can travel around corners. Yes, it can, but that's not a property. Light bounces off shiny objects. That is a property of light, so I selected that. Light can pass through all types of matter. That's not true. Not all types of matter. If it's too dense, it won't. All right, number 13. Which is an example of a solid mixture? So we're trying to mix two solid substance, right? So you have water and wine. Those are liquid. That's not solid. Cornflakes and sugar. Those are two solids, so I chose that. Syrup and lime juice are liquid. Oats and milk. Oats is solid and milk is liquid. So I chose B. All right, 14. Which is true about mixtures? They are formed by a combination of substances. I know that's the case. Let's look at the other answers. They cannot be separated. That's not true. You can sometimes separate them, right? There are ways to do it. They're always formed using water. That's not true. The substances in a mixture are always visible. That's not true either. All right, so A would be my answer. What would yours be? All right, I think I'm doing well so far. All right, so let me make this a little bigger. Examine the diagram below, then use the diagrams, below, then use them to answer an item 15. So I can see all of these look the same. These are a little mixture of stuff. All right, which diagram does not represent a mixture? I would say this. I chose 1 for D because it's all the same substance. They're all the same. This would more look like a mixture because different substance. What a mixture is more than one substance combined. So this is definitely what I think is the answer. So read the statement below, then use it to answer item 16. After Dad was finished mixing the lemonade, he poured it onto a piece of cloth that was stretched over a jug. He did this to remove the seeds and dregs from the lemonade. Okay, so the question is, which separation technique was used to remove the seeds and dregs from the lemonade? I said sieving. It's not decanting, it's not filtration, it's not evaporation, it's sieving. So if you're sieving something, that's how we actually do it. So that's B. Which is not a state of matter? So gas is matter, liquid is matter, solid is matter, ice is not a state of matter. All right, so I chose ice. Which process occurs when a gas changes to a liquid? I say condensation. That's how we have rain, right? And you have evaporation, freezing, melting. Those are not it. It's definitely condensation. That's how we get rain. All right, and that's 18. Let's move to 19, make it bigger for you to see. So which diagram likely represents an irreversible change? All right, so this one, you can see that they're rectangles or squares. They look all the same, but they change over here, but they remain like, they look still just like the boxes. Over here, you can see that maybe they're simple changes, but I think they're not irreversible. Here, I think that this is the one that would be irreversible because they're like rectangles or squares here, a triangle, and then they turn into circles. So to get them back, that doesn't look like it's possible. So I chose C. What would you choose? 20. Which of the following will likely is the operative word, be a good conductor of heat? A cup made from what? Plastic, wood, rubber, or metal? I say metal, right? That's a better conductor for heat, right? That's why we use metal pots, etc., right? Good conductors for heat. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 21. A student spilled some juice on the floor and needed a suitable material to clean it up. So there's juice on the floor. Which property should the material have? It should be what? Waterproof. If it's waterproof, it's going to bounce the water off. If it's magnetic, that won't help. Absorbent, yes, it should be, so it can absorb the liquid. So I chose C, not elastic. All right, so let's move on. Right, so let's make this bigger. So we're going on to 22. Below is an example of a label that can be seen on many household goods. Examine the label, then use it to answer item 22 and 23. So it says, warning, flammable vapor may cause drowsiness and dizziness. Keep away from sparks, open flames, avoid breathing furnace and vapor. All right, expiration date is there. That's March 26, 2025. Says which hazard symbol is not represented on the label. So when I see this looks like corrosive, this like explosive, this like poison to me. I don't see high voltage, so I chose high voltage, right? Which precaution should be followed when storing goods with the label avoid storing? Avoid storing in a hot area, because if you have any of these, they will come under pressure and things might go off. It's not a good idea to put anything like this in heat. So I chose in a hot area. In a metal bottle is okay. In a cold room, in an empty room, that's fine. Just not in a hot area, right? All right, let's move on. So we're at number 24. The pie chart below shows the proportions of different types of solid waste produced as a result of urbanization. Use information in the pie chart to answer item 24. So pie chart showing the proportions of different types of solid waste. So it have metal, furniture and toys, food and waste, paper waste, and plastic waste. So here's a question now. Which statement represents information obtained from the pie chart? Urbanization produces, let's see, mostly paper waste. That's not true. It's mostly plastic waste, if anything. Paper waste and food waste in equal amounts. Paper waste is here, this chunk. Paper waste is bigger than food waste, so this is not correct. C, more plastic, make this a little bigger. More plastic waste when compared to paper waste. Definitely. So this is all plastic. This big chunk of the pie is plastic. So when compared to paper waste, it's definitely more. So more furniture and toys when compared, I definitely say no, it's C. All right, let's move on. All right, so let's get this bigger for you. Use information below to answer item 25 and 26. A group of scientists investigated the effect that sounds in a harbor had on the harbor's fish population. The diagram below shows the result of their investigation. So diagram showing fish count and the loudness of sounds in a harbor on 3 different days. So day 1 we have 12,000 fish and that it was very loud. Day 2 we have 25,000 fish, it was soft, a lot of fish. Day 3 we have 15,000 fish, it was loud. So let's look at the question now. Which statement is supported by the information in the diagram? The harbor fish are likely to attracted to loud sounds. Attracted mean you like or gravitate to it. So I don't think so. I don't think the fish like sounds because when it's very loud, look at it, like 12,000 fishes there. So when it's very loud, it's not, fish don't like that, right? So scared away by loud sounds. I said that because I think the more soft it is, the more fishes are there. So I chose B. All right, number 26. Which could be a likely fish count if the sounds in the harbor were very soft? So we don't have very soft here. We have very loud and soft. If we have very soft, remember soft is 25,000. So I said more than 25,000 because I think it would increase if it get softer, I should say. All right, or very soft. So D is my answer. What's yours? Let's move on. All right, so let me get this bigger for you. Examine the graphs below and then read the statement in the box. Use the information to answer item 27 and 28. So we have surface temperature in 1980. This is the y-axis. This is the x-axis is the year. So it's showing the surface temperature from 1980 to 2021. This is the hurricane strength from 1980 to the year 2021. So again, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. All right, let's look at what the question is. It says statement, increases in global temperature are negatively affecting human life. Which 2 graphs, when used together, will best support the statement? All right, I chose 1 and 2. Why? Because as you can see, as the surface temperature, as it increases over the years, as you can see, so does the strength of hurricane. So I can safely say that based on the heat, hurricanes are getting stronger. So I chose 1 and 2. Okay, 28. Which best describes the pattern seen in graph 4 from 1980 to 2021? So decreasing, fluctuating. So when I look at in graph 4, this is graph 4, it says banana production. So it fluctuates. As you can see, it's up and down, it's all over the place. So that's why I chose fluctuating. All right, what would you choose? Right. All right, let's move on. Let's get this bigger for you. Examine the diagrams below, then use them to answer item 29. So which diagram shows the refraction of light? I chose 3 because this shows that it can't go through the surface. This one shows that it goes through the surface, but it's continuing a straight line, right? Which is not a refraction, right? This one shows that it goes through, but then it bends, which is a refraction. And this one is a bouncing off. It's maybe a mirror or something. So I chose C for diagram 3. All right. The diagram below represents how an organ in the human body functions. Use it to answer item 30. Material from body enters organ right here, then the organ is right here as well. Then useful material returned to the body, unwanted material removed from the body. Okay, so that definitely sounds like the kidney, which is removing unnecessary stuff, cleans the blood, and allow you to have good blood. So I chose kidney. All right. What would you choose? Let's move on. Let's get this bigger. Below is the aim of an investigation. Use it to answer item 31. Aim: to find out which of 3 paper towel brands, brand A, brand B, or brand C, is the most absorbent. So, which is a likely hypothesis for the investigation? So A, it was seen that the thicker paper towel absorbed the most water. I didn't choose that because it mentioned nothing about any of the brands, and we're actually trying to find out brand A, brand B, brand C. So this one definitely can't work. B, brand C paper towel is the thickest and most absorbent. I chose that one because it's more representative to say that it's checking all the different brands and it came back with brand C being the better of all the brands, or the best. Alright, C, let's look at C. Get 3 brands of paper towel, brand A, B, C, and D. It doesn't tell us anything, so it's just telling us to get 3 brands. So I definitely don't think that's correct. D, a thick paper towel is more absorbent than a thin paper towel. I cancel this one out because it doesn't mention any of the brands again, so the hypothesis would be incorrect. So my answer is still B. Let's move on. The investigation below was designed to find out which material is the best conductor of heat. Use it to answer item 32. So here's step 1. You have a clay cup, you have the flame, you have the stand, and guess what? Here are the instructions. Place 1 ice cube in the clay cup. Note the time taken for the ice cube to melt. Now this is being replicated right across. So it's the same thing, but this time it's a glass cup. The only difference between step 1 and step 2 is that there's a type of cup, which one is a clay cup, the other one is, the second one, or in step 2, is a glass cup. Same thing, the only difference is that this one is a metal cup. So we're now trying 3 different cups giving the same type of environment, right? So let's look at what the question is asking us. Which should the student do to ensure that the test is a fair test? The student should ensure that in each step the cup used is made from the same material. No, that wouldn't make any sense, right? Because we're trying to see what type of material is a better conductor, right? So it wouldn't make any sense. That's why we're choosing 3 different cups. B, the ice cube used in this is the same size and shape, right? So if we want to give a fair test, we want to ensure that we put the same size ice cube in and shape in the same in each cup, I should say. My apologies. C, the cup is heated for a different period of time. That would make sense, right? D, the candle used is of a different length. No, that wouldn't be a fair. It has to be the same environment, right? So let's move on. I choose B, right? So let's go to this. I think is, did I skip something? No, that was 32. So I'm going to 33. It says the diagram and table below, let me get this bigger, I'm sorry. The diagram and table below show the setup and result of an investigation. Use the information to answer item 33. A student blew into 3 bottles of different sizes and recorded the pitch of the sound that was made. Each bottle contained a liquid and the space above the liquid contained air. Alright, so here I have A. Bottle A, volume of liquid in the bottle is 300 centimeter cube, right? And then bottle B is volume of liquid in bottle is 300 centimeter cube. All right. volume of liquid in bottle is 300 centimeter cubes. All of these are different. So it says table showing the result of the investigation. So here's what I got. So here you have the bottle A high pitch, right? And then you have bottle B medium pitch. And then bottle C low pitch. Okay, so which is a possible conclusion for this investigation? So A, the volume of the liquid in the bottle affected the pitch of the sound. Okay, let's see. I'm now parking lot this because I'm now rereading it. Let me look. The thickness of the bottle affected the pitch of the sound. I don't think so. I still don't think so. The amount of air in the bottle affected the pitch of the sound. Okay. The color of the bottle affected the pitch of the sound. I am now I'm looking at this. I think I didn't read it properly. I think the difference, because all of these have 300 centimeter cube. I was really hurrying when I looked at this one, to be honest. I am now changing this. I am changing it. Oh my word. I'm changing this one. And I'm putting the amount of air because I realize that it's the same amount, 300 centimeter cube. So I am changing this one, guys. Pardon me, but I'm changing this one. The amount of air in the bottle affected the pitch. Right. I think this one makes more sense now that I'm reading it. All right. So let's move forward. I think I need back my pointer or use this one. Okay. All right, so let's get this bigger. Use the information below to answer item 34. In the 800s, the white with black speckled peppered moth lived in Britain. The picture of the moth is shown below. It was difficult for predators to see the moth when the moth perched on white tree trunks, which is in figure 1. This was because the color of the moth blended in with the tree trunks. Right, so here's figure 1, peppered moth on the tree trunks, all blended out. After the 1840s, factories in Britain began to release large amounts of black smoke. This smoke covered the white trunks of trees, making the trees black. Figure 2. So peppered moth on trees blackened by smoke. Figure 2 showed the moth. Alright, that's not nice. Table showing the population of moth before and after the 1840s. So with white with black speckled moth. The population before 1840, 90,000. Population after 1840, 15. That's a drastic reduction. Wow. Wow. So 34. Which statement gives the most likely cause for the decrease in moth population after 1840? I chose the darkening of the tree trunk caused more moth to be eaten by predators. Alright, what would you choose? Let me see. The black smoke caused more moth to die from smoke poisoning. I don't think so. The large number of predators caused more moth to be eaten. So I chose A. I don't see any other answer. I'm not going to change that one. Alright, let's get this bigger. I think we're at 35. We're almost there, guys. Examine the bar graph and the statement below, then use them to answer item 35 and 36. So here's a bar graph. Bar graph showing number of people with hearing loss and frequent headaches. Number of people on the y-axis and the years on the x-axis, right? So hearing loss is here and frequent headaches is this one, right? So let's see what the question has to offer. It is believed that a new development is responsible for the changes in the number of people with hearing loss and frequent headaches after the year 2000. What was the development? Okay, the development was likely a newly built restaurant. Yeah, it can be noisy, but I don't think so. Not that noisy that you can have hearing loss, I should say. Dentist office. Yeah, people might be screaming. No, just kidding. But I don't think that would be the case. Airport, definitely. Airport, have you ever listened to the plane taking off, guys? That's very loud. So I chose airport. Alright, which statement is true? Half the number of people suffered from hearing loss in 2010 and 1990. half the number of people suffered from hearing loss in 2010 than 1990. 2010? No, that's true. No, I'm sorry, incorrect. More people suffer from hearing loss than in 1990. Cannot be half. No, that's wrong. The same number of people suffered from hearing loss in 2010 and 1990. That is not right again. 2 times as many people suffered from hearing loss in 2010 and 1990. So I chose that one because this is 1990 hearing loss, right? And in 2010 it's 2 times more. So this is the same on the same height, then you have 2 times more. So I selected that for 36, almost there. This is 37. In the cartoon below, some community members were at a town hall meeting giving an account of their experiences. Use information to answer 37. So here, this bubble with people talking, it says, every time it rained, it created holes that got deeper and wider. That's one person. Another person said, they started to plant the crops in lines, running straight down the hillside with angry faces. Another person said, we begged them to stop. Another one said, a lot of mud came into the back door of my house. Wow, okay. So 37, what did the members of the community likely experience? So I chose hillside erosion caused by poor farming practices because of what I heard here. Because if you're going to farm on hillside, especially do contouring and not straight down the hill like that. So hillside erosion caused by urbanization. I don't think so. Flooding of homes because of heavy rainfall. Yes, it's heavy rainfall, but I think based on the fact that it says they started to plant crops and running straight down the hill, I think that, this had contributed to it. And D, flooding of home because of new houses were built on the hillside. I don't think so. I think it's a planting. So I chose A. Alright, we're almost there. This is 38. The diagram below shows, let's get it bigger, shows a grasshopper. Its natural environment consists of lush green grass. Examine the diagram, then use it to answer item 38. So you have strong and large legs, strong outer body, green colored body, green wing, lightweight. So which feature would make it difficult for the grasshopper to survive if it were to move to an area with low-cut, brown, dry grass? Its strong legs would help it. I don't think it would be any form of a disadvantage. Its green wings and light body, I think so, because it says if they're gonna move to somewhere like dry brown grass, the predators would see it easily and catch it. That's why I chose its green wings and body, because it's gonna stand out, right? Remember, the green and the grass would have just actually blended in, but in brown grass, I think grasshoppers will be standing out. So I chose B. Let's move to the next one. This is 39. The diagrams below show the Blue Valley community and its surrounding before and after the year 1990. Use the information to answer item 39. So this is Blue Valley community before 1990. Looked like a little country area. Then all of a sudden, after 1990, look at this. You have buildings as tall, you have skyscrapers, you have an airport, a small town city. Wow, that was quick. So 39, which change would likely happen within the community and its surrounding after 1990? The average yearly rainfall in the area would increase? No, I don't think so. More decrease. The fertility of the soil found in the area would increase? No, I don't think so either. C, I chose C. The number of wild animals usually seen in the area would decrease. This would chase away all the animals. Well, most of the animals, I would say. Let's look at the last one. Examine the diagrams below. They show where pink shrimp and codfish can be found along a coastline at different times in a year. Use them to answer item 40. So we have a key here that says pink shrimp is a prey, codfish is a predator, right? And then in the summer, you see the pink fish there here. You see the codfish there, right? In autumn, the pinkfish are here, codfish are here. In the winter, the pink shrimp are here, the codfish are here. So what's going on here? Which best explains why there are no codfish off the coastline of country X during the winter? I chose B because codfish is the predator, and anywhere the pink shrimp go, they will follow. So I chose there is no food available for the codfish. It's not the pink shrimp feed on the codfish because they're the prey, it's not the predator. The codfish avoid cold water. I don't think so. They love cold water. The codfish reproduce during winter. That's not true. So the best answer is there is no food available for the codfish because the pink shrimp would have left to Y and the codfish will have to follow as the predator. And I think that's the last one. So again, I want to thank you. And guess what? Remember to like, share, subscribe, spread the news. Let me know in the comments if you think that I got them all. Let me know what you think. If you have different answers, all right? Strike up some conversation in the comment, parents. Thanks again. Respect. See you another time. Brainy here.